You're listening to Three Kitchens podcast, hosted by Erin Walker and Heather Dyer.
We're friends trying out recipes in our own regular home kitchens. We hope our experiences will inspire you to get creative in the kitchen. I think I found some sushi-like alternatives. So there is a couple versions of this I am going to try. All right. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Three Kitchens podcast. My name is Erin Walker, and joining me for this recipe adventure is my co-host, Heather Dyer.
Hello there. I like that it's an adventure. I'm always up for an adventure.
Is anything we do in the kitchen not a little bit adventurous? I always feel like we're trying something new. It's a little bit of an experiment.
That is kind of the whole point of this, isn't it? It's taken us 5 years to figure it out. Just in time to not do it anymore. Should we say that? Yeah.
So we're going to wrap things up on the podcast around our 5-year anniversary here in April. So we started in April 2021, and it is now April 2026.
It's time. That's crazy when you think about how long we've been doing this. When you say 5 years, that's... And I've lost count, but I think we're close to 300 episodes, aren't we? We'll find out. So we haven't counted it up yet.
Yeah, we've cooked a lot of recipes. We published a lot of episodes. And when you put this into the overall timeline of life, it's insane, Heather.
I know, it really is. And maybe we'll do a little final wrap up chit chat about it once we're finished these last couple of episodes. We haven't even recorded everything yet, so maybe at the very end, stay tuned for that. But this is our second to last recipe episode. Yeah. So let's get to it. What are you gonna make? I'm excited.
So we have struggled a little bit coming up with what are we going to do next? And it feels a little bit like a bit of extra pressure / it's not like what is there left to do, but trying to aim somewhere. It's been hard. We've been struggling.
I haven't even chosen mine, and I have to do the last recipe episode. And I just can't decide what sort of direction to take for it. I know.
It's in our head a bit, isn't it?
The way we usually pick. Yes, we're getting a little too concerned about what it should be. But it's going to be the way we usually pick it, which is either led by our stomach telling us that looks like something I want to eat, or maybe it's just a trend or something we've been meaning to try.
Yeah. So I came across a couple things that I was like, okay, I think I know where I'm going to go with this. My one son loves sushi, and so do I. And I know you do too. And I don't want to try making sushi because this seems like a highly skilled, not something everybody is going to do. You know, I've watched enough videos to be like, don't think that's in my league.
I took a class once. Did I ever tell you how I took it? I took a sushi rolling class at a restaurant I was probably like early 20s, 22, 23, something like that.
Just before we started this podcast. Yes.
Right. Yes. And honestly, handling the fish at home, that part makes me a little bit nervous. Probably unnecessarily, but still, I feel like I'm not exactly sure what to buy. I don't really want to fuck it up. I don't want to make anybody sick.
Also,
so
we're landlocked.
Experience started and ended. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no source of fresh fish, and it's not something we cook with often. It's not something we handle often. You know, like, it's just out of our range. But I think I found some sushi-like alternatives. So there is a couple versions of this I am going to try based off of some videos on Instagram. So the first is a cream cheese, tuna, cucumber and rice sushi wrap. From what it looks like, it looks really easy to make, similar to the way we made those. Do you remember those Korean chicken quesadilla things we made where the wrap was cut and then you folded it 4 ways?
Make that twice a week in my kids' lunch. Not that I fill it with different stuff, but that's how I make quesadillas now.
So this is with a square of rice paper. No. A square of seaweed, and you cut it up to the middle, and then you've got 4 quadrants that you're going to fill with, it shows cream cheese, canned tuna, don't have to worry about the fish handling, sliced cucumbers, and then rice.
Sticky rice? Like sushi rice?
I'll probably just make sticky rice.
What's the difference?
I think sushi rice is an even shorter grain than sticky rice. I've seen it at the store, and that's the only difference I've noticed.
I know it's sweetened. You put is it a wine or
rice
something
vinegar or something?
Into like something you put into the sushi rice to give it that flavor.
Okay.
Maybe not for sticky rice.
I'm going to have to look and see what I do to each of these components that's going in here. Might be a little bit different. And then the other way of doing this that I've seen is making little tuna rice cups so you take your rice and you press it down into a muffin tin so that it makes like a little cup, and then you put some tuna salad in there, and then you put sliced avocados, some sriracha mayo, some sesame seeds, and then you can eat these little tuna rice cups.
I have seen where they put a little square of the seaweed into the muffin tin at the bottom, put the rice inside. But then I don't know if it's heated or if it's a baked one, because I've seen different ones, so that when it pops out, it all holds together.
Right. I think they heat it a little bit based on what I'm looking at on Instagram. So I think these are two ways to make like mock sushi, to make them a way that I feel comfortable handling the fish, because like you said, I'm not super comfortable with handling raw fish. So maybe like the raw tuna or even like canned salmon, I think would be really good in this. And then something green and or crisp and are fresh.
What are the ones called that are in a mold?
Oh, yes.
You know the ones I'm talking about? Onigiri. I have all the molds.
I have some molds too. And I came across some videos on that as well. And they often are filled with a tuna filling.
Or whatever you want. I have made them before, like years ago, but kind of forgot that I had those molds.
Yeah, so these are going to be two ways that I'm going to try making something sushi-like at home. The ones that I'm talking about that are like the quesadilla wrap, I think would be great to pack in lunches because they'll go. But I think the little cups will be more of like an at-home sushi fun.
I love both these ideas. Love it. Love it.
And
can't wait to eat it.
You can eat my terrible imitations of sushi before you go and eat the real sushi when you're in Japan.
Oh.
So you won't be disappointed.
Don't worry.
You won't have to eat these after you've had the real deal.
Hey, we do what we can with what we've got and the skills that we've got. I'm sure that's going to be delicious.
My kid's been bugging me for a while. Come on, let's just make sushi. I'm sure it's not that hard. So I'll try something like sushi and we'll see just how hard it is.
I think you can do it. And if not, we'll just laugh. I'll laugh at you and you'll laugh at yourself and we'll still have a fun time.
It'll all be good.
Hey listener, have you visited our website? You'll find our entire catalog of episodes. Can you believe there are more than 170 of them, including the Speakeasy Cocktail series and almost all of our recipes?
It's easy to find. Just type in www.threekitchenspodcast.com or check the show notes for a link. Now, let's get back to the show. Okay, we are recording, so let's get at this. Let's talk about sushi-ish creations that I made in my kitchen. Again, I think these kind of fall under a quote-unquote recipe because it's really not.
That's funny because this morning as I was puttering around, I listened to the Puttanesca episode and we had that I was telling that story about it's not really a recipe.
It's not really a recipe. So again, what do you call it if it's not a recipe? You know?
I guess it is.
I guess it is a recipe, but it's just such simple things that you put together. So I cooked up a whole bunch of short grain rice. I don't think I got specifically sushi rice, but it was a very nice short grain rice that I cooked up. Once you've got it cooked and I let it cool, so I kind of did that part earlier in the afternoon and then just let it sit in the pot. I fluffed it up with a fork like they say you should. It sat in that pot, cooled down. And then when I was ready to assemble everything, I added a couple teaspoons of rice vinegar, a pinch of sugar, and a pinch of salt, and then just used my little rice paddle to mix it all up and make my rice. And then this worked for both of the things I made. I made enough so that it would all satisfy everything. And then for the tuna rice cups, I put a large ice cream scoop of rice into my silicone baking cups. I never use an actual muffin tin. I always use my little silicone inserts, and then I can fit more.
But you don't put them into the pan.
No, I set them on
Yeah,
a baking sheet, and then I can do like 20 muffins on a baking sheet. It's really efficient. So once you've got those in there, I dipped the back of my tablespoon in some oil, and then I pressed down to make an indent in each of the rice cups. And then you're going to want to cook those in a preheated 350-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes to kind of firm them up. I have a feeling I could have gone a little bit longer because when I took them out of the silicone cups and started stuffing them, they fell apart. And I was like, okay, we'll just put them back in the silicone cups and then they won't fall apart. But maybe they would hold together better if I would have done longer. So I think I was around the 12-minute mark. So I maybe could have gone the extra few, but I didn't want my rice getting too crunchy. I wasn't really sure where that end point was. And my patience and tolerance was kind of at a low level. So I just... good enough. And so once those came out of the oven and cooled a little bit, I had a tuna salad that I made, and there was just a little ice cream scoop of it in that cup. And then I topped it with little diced up pieces of avocado. I had some sriracha mayo, a little bit of soy sauce, some sesame seeds on there. It would have been really cute if I found some black sesame seeds because I think that would have contrasted nicely with all the colors. But the regular sesame seeds I had worked just fine. And then voila, you serve, you scoop it out with a spoon and eat it. Easy peasy.
I tried to eat it by hand. I was like, it's falling apart. And the kids and I had a discussion. Do you use a spoon? Do you just hold it? What should we be doing? And it was very messy. That's okay. We're just like, at this point, just eat the thing.
Just get it in my mouth, right?
I felt too that it could have, I actually wouldn't have minded if the edges of the rice were a little crispy. Like I think it did need a bit more time for that cup base to be a bit more solid, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it, but I wouldn't have minded a little like crispiness in the rice. I think that actually would have been a nice texture.
Yeah. I also would have put maybe like a fresh little bit of seaweed on it, or like sliced up some nori and had some little crispy strips on there or something.
Yeah, a little salt.
Yeah.
Salty something. I also, as a cilantro lover, I think some chopped cilantro on top just before you eat it, if you like cilantro like I do, that would also be good.
Does
Just something
cilantro
fresh,
usually
kind of
go with sushi? Have you ever had
sure.
cilantro with sushi?
Goes with everything, Erin. It goes with everything.
I'm still learning. I am still learning.
It goes with anything fish. It goes with anything fresh. It goes with avocado, right?
Okay.
So that's why I love it. So I would put it on just about anything.
Yeah.
I'm not the world's biggest fan of canned tuna. In
Okay.
fact, I hate canned tuna. I didn't tell you that in advance because I figured I owed it to you because you ate Boston baked beans, which you hated so much.
That's hilarious.
So it was payback. I owed you that. I didn't hate this. But it would not have been my choice of filling. I would do like a canned salmon.
Yeah.
Or crab, like canned, I think would have been really yummy in there. So, but I think there's options and I love the method of it.
Yeah, I think it's a good little delivery vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I like the celery. I don't know who was talking about the celery.
My son.
You told me, one of your kids. Yeah, I like that.
I was like, that's the whole point of the celery is so that it's crunchy. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right. And so the second method of assembly was on a piece of nori. So I went and got packages of large square made for rolling sushi nori. And so to make this one, you're going to cut a slit in the middle so that it divides it sort of into 4 quadrants. So only cut like halfway through, halfway in the middle. Kind of like when you make those folded over quesadillas that we talked about in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And on 1 quarter, you're going to spread cream cheese. On your 2nd quarter, you're going to spread the tuna filling, or alternatives if you don't like your tuna. On the third part, I had sliced cucumbers, and the last part was the sushi rice. And so you fold this up, and then the video I saw sliced it kind of diagonally to make triangles, but I found that I wasn't easy to work with when it came to try and wrap it up and do things with it. So I just sliced them in half and then wrapped them up in wax paper like I would for my kids' lunch. Yeah, eat this dipping it in some soy sauce that's got maybe some wasabi, or if you like something like chili in there, or whatever you like to dip sushi in. I would say eat this with that. And I was a little unsure how the texture of the nori was going to turn out because it kind of was absorbing the moisture from the cream cheese and the tuna and the cucumbers. And I was like, I see why this traditionally just sits around the rice, because it kind of maintains itself a little bit better. So it was a little bit, I don't know, softer and not crispy. But I guess it's not totally crispy around a piece of sushi either. It does absorb some moisture and soften up. So at first I was like, I don't know about this, but I think in the end it was all okay.
I really liked it. And I agree. I think maybe the way to do it is to put rice on each quadrant and then put your fillings on top of the rice. Like if you can get the rice thin so that
that'd be a struggle. But yeah,
I don't know.
I think you just
isn't that how onigiri is typically? It's like
the rice is around all
whatever
the
filling is inside. Yeah,
exactly.
Probably for that reason, because who knew?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Although if you're going to eat it right away, maybe it's
amazing. As I was spreading the cream cheese on it, it was starting to like soften and like ripple, kind of like, when you get paper wet. And it was like immediately that texture had changed. By the time I had finished spreading the cream cheese, I was like, oh boy. There was one I even ripped pretty good while I was making it because it softened up right away.
Well, it does taste really good. Like I like it with the seaweed.
Yeah, I thought it was really good for a go snack. Like I could see packing those and keeping them just in a cooler and being able to pull those out and snack on them. Like why buy the cheap little packs of sushi when you're out and about when you could bring something like that? And you could put something that you prefer more in there. I would do that.
For sure. I mean, you could do just like, I don't know, you could do anything, even like chicken or like whatever you like that you had just chop up.
Yeah, you could put really any sort of protein that you like in there.
Yeah. Like I was thinking teriyaki chicken, like maybe if you had something left over, this was something you could do with the rice, leftover rice and whatever protein you had with it. I don't know. It's like with those quesadillas you were talking about. I put all kinds of, when I have leftovers, yesterday I put mashed potatoes and cheese.
Yes.
In the quesadilla and then fried it up with like herbs and garlic on the outside, kind of like we did with the crispy, crunchy grilled cheese sandwich from Cheryl, our friend Cheryl.
Yeah.
Remember? And she had said you do it on a quesadilla. So I did that on the outside just to give it a bit more flavor. But the kids love that. They're like, oh, cheesy potatoes in a tortilla? Yes, please. So I think with this is similar. You could put almost any kind of thing that you feel goes with the seaweed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you could make it. I was watching some videos on kimbap, which is like sushi. I feel like I might get slammed for saying something like this, but from my outside observation,
fusion.
It looks
fusion.
It looks like it's a South Korean rice with filling roll, but I have seen they'll do like fried spam in it and julienne carrots and like pickles in there too, like a pickled radish kind of thing in there too. And then it's rolled up in nori and sliced up. And
my God, all of that sounds so good.
Right? So I felt like when I learned this, I was like, oh, they have a sushi-like product as well, but it doesn't necessarily have raw fish in it. So there's a whole bunch of options. And I think you could go, if you looked down like more Korean-centered food, I think you would find a whole bunch of different things you could do there too.
Yeah.
Don't come at me.
I love the idea. Yeah, you got to be careful with that one.
Yeah, I know. I know
Korean and Japanese.
I know there's history there.
Yeah. Again, this is not a food history. This is not a food politics of food podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like how we're always talking about food wrapped in a pastry. like any sort of dumpling. Like we're always comparing them across the world. I think this is almost like the Asian comparison is food that's in rice and seaweed, maybe.
Yeah.
And they just have their own different fillings and different flavors. And so I think you can really be inspired or influenced by a whole bunch of stuff out there. Just mix it all together.
Yeah.
If you like it, put it together and eat it.
That is really the message at the end of the day, isn't it?
I think so.
What do you like? Put it together. Just go for it.
I think so.
I like this a lot. I'm totally gonna make it.
Oh, awesome.
With, the fillings that I like.
With possibly not
totally into
tuna. Sorry.
In fact, oh my God, I was just thinking this morning that I have a big bag of shrimp in the freezer, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll do something with shrimp for dinner.
Ooh.
I don't have any nori, but I could stop and grab some.
I bought 2 packages, and it's definitely more than I need. So I will deliver you a package of nori.
Well, that's awfully nice. I think the kids would love it. We could do some. I even have sushi rice in my pantry. This is fun.
Yay. Okay.
Great idea for dinner.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be happy in your house. Okay.
Give it a try.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for doing that. Yum, yum. Okay. And remember, before we turn this off, just a little reminder, next week is our last recipe episode. So be sure to tune in for our final recipe of the podcast.
What's Heather gonna make?
God.
Heather's in the kitchen. It's gonna be good.
I love that faith you have in me. Okay, good.
And now for the fine print. Links to recipes and other things we talked about in this episode can be found on the show notes or our website, www.threekitchenspodcast.com. Come say hello on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. We'd love to connect. And if you enjoy the show, pass it on. Word of mouth is the #1 way people learn about new podcasts. Thanks for listening.
What if I go to Japan and I'm like, this just doesn't quite compare to Erin's?
Only that white girl in central Alberta.